To every single studio out there, take notes. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review for one of my most anticipated movies of 2024, the continuation of Denis Villeneuve's expert adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel, Dune Part 2. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do. At the end of the video, if I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. Get ready, because this is going to be a long synopsis. Dune Part 2 picks up right where the first one left off after the fall of House Atreides and Duke Leto at the hands of the evil House Harkonnen, forcing Timothée Chalamet's Paul and his mother, Lady Jessica, played by Rebecca Ferguson, to escape into the desert and join the ranks of Arrakis' locals, the Fremen. When the movie starts, after a brief introduction to the Emperor of the known universe, Emperor Shaddam, played by Christopher Walken, and his daughter Princess Irulan, played by Florence Pugh, we meet back up with Paul, Lady Jessica, and the Fremen. Paul is doing everything he can to fit in with them and learn their ways, from their language and their sandwalk to even how to eventually ride a sandworm, thanks to the help of his new love interest Chani, played by Zendaya, and religious zealot Stilgar, played by Benicio del Toro.
Don't try to impress anyone.
Who fully believes that Paul is the Lisan al-Gaib, the prophesied messiah of Arrakis, even though the rest of the Fremen are split on whether or not they believe this to be true. The Fremen are using their numbers and knowledge of the desert to attack and sabotage the Harkonnen, leading a frustrated Baron Harkonnen, once again played by Stellan Skarsgård, to demote military leader Raban, played by Dave Bautista, and bring in his psychotic, brutal, and terrifying nephew Fade Rotha, played by Austin Butler, to take down Paul and the Fremen once and for all. All while Paul is struggling with whether or not he wants to accept this prophesized role as the Messiah and lead Arrakis and the rest of the universe into a holy war. That was a lot. I know, but that's the best I could do with giving you a little summary of this plot without having that be an entire video of its own.
What a mouthful.
And if you're not really familiar with Dune, but you saw the first movie and maybe didn't really pay attention to it, all the exposition, the lore, and the detail regarding the different houses, this universe, the Fremen, Arrakis, the spice, along with backstories and character motivations, this movie may not hit as hard. But if that first movie grabbed a hold of you like it did for me and sent you into a tailspin over the last 3 years trying to absorb everything Dune related, from the books to the original 80s movie by David Lynch,
You mustn't speak! What the hell was that?
to the video games, especially Dune Spice Wars, which I am addicted to right now, this may be a dream come true for you. This is just a cinematic achievement in nearly every aspect, from the performances to the way that it paces and tells this hefty story, to the jaw-dropping visuals, to the amazing score by Hans Zimmer. To start with the performances, if you watch part 1, you already know that this has a stacked cast, and once again, everybody kills it here, from Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya to Benicio del Toro, Rebecca Ferguson, Austin Butler, and everyone in between. Chalamet once again brings a palpable vulnerability to Paul Atreides, though if you know anything about the story of Dune and where it goes, Part 2 definitely gives him a chance to flex the many different aspects of this very layered character.
Are you flexing?
What? Me? No. Why would I be flexing?
Yes, he starts in that vulnerable position in the beginning, as he's treated as an outsider by the Fremen and starts to try to learn their ways. But as the movie goes on, he gets to bring in that great chemistry that he has with Zendaya's Chani, along with showing proficiency as a badass fighter, and everything in between as he leads the Fremen in a revolution against the Harkonnen and the Emperor. Chalamet is still doing a great job in this role, and I admire the fact that Villeneuve was so adamant about adapting one of the better themes from the novel that was completely absent from the 80s film, which is having him grow to be a morally gray anti-hero by the end of the film, to the point where you're not totally sure if you should root for him anymore.
Can I trust you?
And the film handles that incredibly well. And for those of you that complained about the first one and how little of screen time Zendaya had there, she definitely gets the screen time and love she deserves here. And the little changes made to Chani's character make her much more compelling and full of depth, especially with her great chemistry with Chalamet and their budding romance. Her character also brings a lot of levity and heart to the first half of this film, but as the story goes on, she brings in a lot of character drama that Zendaya pulls off very well. She's always been a great actress. Benicio del Toro's Stilgar is one of these standouts in an already phenomenal cast too, and actually brings a lot of humor into this film, which was definitely welcome, because there was only a glimpse of that here and there in the first one.
What do they say about this hellhole again?
To shower, you scrub your ass with sand, my lord. That's what they say.
Along with a sort of mentor relationship that he has with Paul, while also being a total religious zealot, like I said before, with his belief that Paul is the Lisan al-Gaib, and Del Toro brings all of this home brilliantly. And once again, Rebecca Ferguson is fantastic in the role of Lady Jessica, in my opinion. And with the added stakes and plot of Part 2, she gets a chance to show off the more morally gray to evil aspects of her character.
What a bad son of a bitch.
Because regardless of whether or not she believes that Paul is the Messiah, she, as a member of the Bene Gesserit, pushes that narrative wherever she can and really pushes Paul to use that to keep the Fremen under their thumbs. I could be here literally all day talking about the rest of the cast and how great they are, like Stellan Skarsgård's brief but disgusting role as the Baron, Dave Bautista's brooding and intense role as Enforcer Rabon, and Josh Brolin's badass but charismatic role as Gurney Halleck. But there's one more standout that I want to mention before I move on. Austin Butler as Fade Rotha. Damn, does he do a truly great job playing this bloodthirsty and psychotic character.
I'm scared, Daddy.
Providing us with a ruthless, murderous villain that propels the movie along and gives us one of the best and most beautifully shot scenes of the movie with the Harkonnen arena on Giedi Prime. And when he finally meets up with Paul, can't really spoil that scene, but man was that intense.
May thy knife chip and shatter.
Moving away from the performances, I really have to give it up to the script and the way that this story was told again. In my opinion, with that first movie, Villeneuve and his crew captured the essence of Dune perfectly, fitting the very wide and overwhelming range of background knowledge, exposition, and character backgrounds so naturally into the film that it really can work for anyone, and this was no different. Yeah, some changes are made here and there that might upset fans of the book, especially regarding Chani's character, but the gist of the story is still unchanged, and does a great job communicating the themes and character motivations and journeys. The pacing here is amazing too. I barely felt this almost 3-hour runtime. And those visuals!
I've had my mind blown.
Villeneuve is a brilliant director overall, but he is truly unmatched when it comes to his visual direction, as I saw in Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, Sicario. Here, just like in part 1, each planet that we visit is visually brilliant and fleshed out so incredibly well that it's stunning to behold, with gorgeous visuals, stellar cinematography, and practical sets that feel incredibly real, especially when we spend time with the Fremen and their underground sieges, or, like I said before, get to go to Giedi Prime and see the Harkonnen battle arena. And for the larger-than-life parts that were created with CGI, from the screen-filling sandworms to the massive Harkonnen spice harvesters, the CGI is near flawless, better than anything I've seen since the first movie. Villeneuve's vision of what Dune is really jaw-dropping, and I am just praying that he adapts Dune Messiah because I need to see more of this world. The last thing I will praise with this fascinating film is Hans Zimmer's epic score. He's always been one of my favorite composers, and what he's done for these two Dune movies is definitely one for the books. It's really astounding to listen how this score can go from ethereal, slow, minimalist melodies and occasional religious-style vocals to fully epic, bombastic score seamlessly, and it truly elevates this film to staggering levels with how drawn into this world you can get. Overall, Dune Part 2 is nothing short of a cinematic achievement, expanding on the brilliance of Part 1 to bring us a film that is compelling in nearly every way, from the performances and story to the visuals and score. Whether you're a Dune fan, only saw the first movie, or haven't even heard of Dune, go see this. You will not regret it. And go see it preferably on the biggest screen possible. We saw it in IMAX and it was just amazing. And that's my review of Dune Part 2. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it in the beginning. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new content. While you're at it, you can scroll down to the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw the movie and what you thought, or if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. They'll take you to my review of stop motion, or just over to my channel where you can check out my reviews, my shorts, and my old shit. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of the new Blumhouse horror film, Imaginary.